Right, we've just about got that one of our system, haven't we? Let's move on. European football, who wants that, you know? Long trips away, sunny climates, expensive flights, taking time off work. Now, we've been there, we've done that, we've done the Paris, we've done the Milans. We move on to the really exciting matches, the ones that I want more than anything, like Fulham at home. Yes, the bread and butter is back, and we're going to be having a very quick look at Fulham at St James's Park on this Saturday afternoon. If you're curious, Newcastle fans, do us a favour, make sure you stick around. Welcome back to Black White Banter, you lovely Newcastle fans. As I said at the start, I hope you've got Wednesday out your system. I'll be totally honest with you. It took me a couple of days, and I got lots of Newcastle fans ramming positivity down my throat, even from 10 minutes after the match finished. I was not of that mindset. It's not very often I leave St James's Park, and then the next day still feel as gutted as what I did. It just felt like European football was snatched from us in the cruelest way, and we didn't really help ourselves. Milan didn't deserve that. So it has hurt. It still hurts a little bit if I think about it. But again, as I said on my blog that I write on other socials, check them out, Black and White Banter. With a defeat like that, and the end of the European football comes perspective. And my God, what a roller coaster it's been. It's been one of the most pleasurable seasons so far. And it's only December supporting this beautiful football team. The canals of Milan, the squares of Dortmund with amazing beers. Not really too much great about France. The limbs from Isak's goal in France is probably my main highlight. But it's been amazing. And who could ever forget that 4-1 win against PSG? The atmosphere, the shock of it, the fact we just battered Mbappe, come to St James's, come to little old Newcastle. Amazing. And we move on and we learn from it. And hopefully our league campaign will improve. Which leads me on to Fulham at home. But Newcastle fans, do us a favour, whack that like, whack that subscribe. I am going to keep this preview a lot shorter because I'm aware I'm posting this about 3 hours before the match. I'll be totally honest with you, it was my Christmas party on Thursday and I was absolutely hanging out of my loop on Friday when I would normally do this video. I had to work. It was a good night, free bar. You know, be rude not to get a little bit tiddly. But I was not in a good place on Friday, so I do not think I'll be having a half-time pint at St James's today because I still feel a bit ropey. But on we go to Fulham. I hope the lads are capable of dusting themselves off. I think they will be. I think Eddie Howe will try and get them to shake it off as quickly as. And we need to because our away form is poor. Our league form, we've lost the last 2. We need to be looking to keep winning these home matches. And Fulham at home, if we talked about this a week and a half ago, you would have been saying that's a solid 3 points for Newcastle because they've scored 10 goals in 2 matches, which I don't actually think's been done before. I've never looked into that stat, but that's impressive. 2 5-0s back-to-back in any league is impressive. In the Premier League, it's incredible. So they have turned a bit of a corner. Mr. Jimenez, who I thought always would get back to his best after his skull injury, seems to be back amongst the goals. I think strikers just need one, and then they come like London buses, as they say. But what I will say to anyone going into this worried about Fulham a little bit, I'm not taking too much away from them, but the 2 teams that they beat heavily were a Nottingham Forest team who were under massive pressure under Steve Cooper and not having a good time of things. And then West Ham, who they beat, also apparently there was some illness in the West Ham camp the day of their game. I don't know how true that is, but I'm not discrediting the fact that this Fulham team are quite dangerous. I'm just saying their 2 big results have come against sides who haven't been in a great run of things themselves. So do I expect us to get back to business against Fulham? I do. I think Bruno will have been hurt and Joe Linton, who played amazing on Wednesday, will have been hurt, and a lot of them will have been, and they want to then turn that around quickly. They don't want the fans to be against them. They want the fans to be with them, and I think that'll push through on Saturday. Or today as I'm recording this. That's what I'm hoping anyway. Now, team news, we are starting to get players back. Imagine that. Imagine having defenders to pick from. Imagine having a couple of midfielders to pick from. So I think because Kieran Trippier is suspended, which is a massive loss, we know it is, down the right-hand side, his deliveries, his free kicks. Although it's fair to say Kieran Trippier hasn't scored a free kick for a very, very, very long time. But, you know, he's a danger. He hit the crossbar against... Who did he hit the crossbar against? I can't remember who he hit the crossbar against. I'll get back to you on that one. But I know he's hit the bar recently. He's a loss, but I think that makes the defence pick itself. Livramento goes to right back, who I've got no doubts will be good down that right hand side. That's his preferred position. Dan Burn has just come back on Wednesday. I think Dan Burn will play in this game. I really, really do. I think he'll come back in at left back, which we lose something down that left-hand side, which is a shame. We do. Livramento offers something Dan Burn never can. That energy, carrying the ball like Livramento can. So that's a shame. But defensively, you know, I've got no doubts. Dan Burn, let's not forget how solid he's been. Now, Sven Botman's back for this one, and it's even been posted a photo of him on social media on the match photo. So Sven Botman will be in the squad. Do I expect Eddie Howe to play him? No, I don't. I'll be surprised. I'll be over the moon. The Rolls Royce is out the garage. That's how good Botman's been. But he's been out a while. Maybe he needs to be bedded back in. So I would probably assume he's going to go Lascelles and Shea. We don't know. Anthony Gordon had a hamstring injury on Wednesday, and I'm so worried he won't be playing because that is a huge loss with a capital H. So fingers crossed he pulls through. Longstaff for me, if he is starting to get back up to match sharpness, he's had 2 substitute appearances now. Longstaff needs to come back in. Miley's been incredible, but Miley, the age he is, probably needs a break, and Longstaff offers us something, as I keep talking about like a stuck record, going forward. Callum Wilson, keep him in. Alexander Isak, the less said about his performance on Wednesday, the better. I was infuriated. You can not be match sharp, you cannot be at the races, but the lack of energy and the lack of work rate that I saw from him in one of our biggest games in recent times really infuriated me. It did. So if we could see that Isak today, I would rather he was nowhere near the team. Almiron, he's probably going to stay in the side, but I think if Murphy was fit, he wouldn't be. He needs to pull his finger out because he has not been good enough the last couple of matches, just in my opinion. So I would go Gordon if he's available, Wilson, and Almiron picks himself. Unfortunately, I wish there was another option to freshen things up on that right-hand side. Isak, if Gordon's not fit, I'd play him on the left, but only if his attitude's right. Newcastle fans, let us know your predictions for this one. But before we get into predictions, let's very quickly get into some black and white banter. Stats. Fulham do not have a very good record at St James's Park. They are winless in their last 7 visits, and the last time they won at St James's was in 2009 in a game that we had to win to try and stay up, and we didn't. And that was the season we got relegated. So it's been a very long time since the old Cottagers have ever picked up results. That's only going to be good for us. Wilson is actually looking to become only the 3rd Newcastle player to score 20 goals in the calendar year. He's currently on 19. And if he plays today, you always back him. His record for us is absolutely class. So fingers crossed that one happens to not so much a stat, but my standout goal from this game, a lot of people will say Ben Arthur, when he rifled it into the top corner, when he cut in on his left. It's not for me. It's a certain Laurent Robert. Anyone old enough to remember Monday Night Football back in 2004? 2004? Yeah, it must have been 2004, to get my years right. Laurent Robert with what at the time was called a ninja kick. He scored some crazy goals in his time for Newcastle. That was the weirdest of the bunch. Let us know in the comments if you can remember that one. Before I give my predictions, can I just say Fulham? Does anyone dislike Fulham? I think Fulham are like the kid at school who always helped out. You know, if you needed a pencil, you needed a pen. You never really spoke to him. Just went about his business. He was harmless. He didn't get bullied. He wasn't on that side of the fence. Didn't have loads of mates. Just no one really bothered him. He was just a nice guy. I don't see anyone in the world who could say, I hate Fulham. They're just such a unique club in that way. A little stadium by the water. They like to have the glasses of Prosecco when they go on away trips. Just a classy football club. Very different to Newcastle in that sense. My predictions for this one, I'm going to go for Fulham are flying. They are in confidence. It's not going to be easy. I'm going to go for Newcastle 2-1 today. I think they will get a goal because we've looked a little bit leaky in our goalkeeping situation. Is not filling me with much confidence, but we might just have enough. The bounce back from Wednesday to get over the line. Let us know your predictions. There'll be a match vlog coming, so hit that subscribe if you want to see that. And fingers crossed that we can put everything behind us and get back to winning ways just before that cup quarter final on Tuesday. How are you, lads?